This is a recording from Osborne Books Maths Tutorial, Chapter 5. You work in the Accounts Department of Treasury Trainers, a company producing trainers. There are two production departments, cutting and stitching. Details for the production overheads for the 5 weeks ended 24th of March are as follows. Cutting department's overhead recovery rate is £6 per machine hour. Machine hours used was 7,400, actual production 39,500. Stitching was £4 per labour hour. 10,800 labour hours were used and 45,100 actual production. These are the codes that we'll be using for the departments. No actual production are paid through the bank and posted automatically to the account, so the journal is not required to include this. The financial controller would like you to design a spreadsheet automatically to calculate and produce a journal for under or over recovery of overheads, inputting on the date and actual machine of labour hours and the actual overheads incurred for that period. We need to open a new spreadsheet, call it with the name given. If you haven't got this file, then you'll need to create your own. Name it as Overhead Recovery Journal, which I've done here. The worksheet should include the headings as stated here when designing it, which I've done over here. This table should be linked to a journal. You may wish to refer to the journal layout in your previous exercises when designing it. So, we need to automatically calculate the overheads recovered for the period for cutting and stitching departments. The actual machine hours or labour hours must be inputted into the cell. So I need to get my data. And here we know it's £6 for cutting, 4 for stitching. Machine hours worked, 7,400 and 10,800. Actual overheads was 39,500 and 45,100. We need to automatically calculate the labour hours. So we're going to look here at the overheads and we're going to go equals open bracket 7,400 multiplied by the £6 gives me 44,400, and I can replicate that across. I'm now being asked to automatically calculate the under or over recovery of the overheads for the period. The actual overheads incurred must be input in the cells in the spreadsheet to show under recovery as red and over recovery as green. So we budgeted at the beginning of the year this amount. This is what we actually spent. We're now checking to see, was we on target, was we over, was we under? So we're going to go equals open bracket, budgeted minus actual, and that gives me 4,900. So we budgeted too much. And if we do it for the stitching, we actually budgeted too little because we said 43,200, but we spent 45,100. I'm now being told to put this in conditional formatting. Green if it was a positive and red if it's a negative. So greater than 0, we're going to put that in green. And less than 0, we're going to put that in red. And there you go, exactly what I said. Underneath the overhead information, we need to produce a template. This must post the overheads recovered for the cutting department using the data for the 5-week period. So this is what I've got. So I'm looking at cutting first. These two. For every debit, there must be a credit. So we're going to debit production department of 44,400 and enter. And we're going to credit the production overheads the same amount. I'm now being asked to do it for the stitching department. So production, we're going to debit 43,200 and we're going to credit 43,200 there. Post the under or over absorption of overheads for the cutting department and use an if statement to post this correctly as either a debit or a credit to the statement of profit and loss. So we need to use an if statement to do the overheads. So I'm going to go to formula and if. And what I'm basically saying here is if B10 is more than 0, then I want you to display B10. Otherwise, I don't want you to display anything. Display 0. I'm going to do the same here, but I'm going to be doing it the opposite way round. So I'm going to say if B10 is less than 0, I want you to put in B10. Otherwise, I want you to put in 0. And I'm going to do a link equals of F19. Oops, what have I done? A link of F19 and equals of FE18. 19, because for every debit there must be a credit, and I'm going to do the same for the stitching department. So if C10 is more than 0, I want you to display C10, otherwise I want you to display 0. And here I'm going to be going if C10 is less than 0, I want you to put in C10, or I want you to put in 0. So as you can see, that's giving me my figure here. So I'm going to link that to this one, and I'm going to link this one to this one. Identify each set of journal entries in different cell colours. I'm going to do different cell colours. These two relate to each other, so I'm going to do them one colour, light blue. These two belong together, so I'm going to do them orange. These two belong together, so I'm going to do them grey. And these two belong together, so I'm going to do them, I don't know what colour, that yellow. Protect the worksheet so only the cells input period, date, machine, labour hours worked and actual hours for cutting and stitching department and journal can be amended. Leave password blank. So at this precise moment, everything is locked. So we need to look at, we want to protect the sheets so only input cells can be done. So these ones here are input cells. So these here, I'm going to unlock, protection, unlock. But these, oops. I need it to be locked. Same with these, I need these to be locked. So now that I've done that, input cells, period, date, machine hours, actual overhead cutting can be amended, leave password. Right, so now I need to password protect it, so I'm going to protect, and it's saying leave it empty, and click OK. So now if I try and click in here, I can't, but if I want to click in here, I can. I think these should have been locked. These are formula. So I'm going to lock these. Mhm. Format lock, and then I'm going to password protect it. So these can be amended, this can be amended, this can't, and nor can these, or any of the ones below. Right, nearly done. Financial controller also asked you to produce a 3D column chart, including in the data table for the production manager, showing the overheads recovered and the actual production overheads for both the production departments. Showing the overheads recovered and the actual production. Using the data from A, produce a 3D column chart on a separate worksheet showing the overheads recovered and the actual overheads incurred for both the cutting and the stitching department. So overheads recovered, which are these two, and the actual overheads. So I'm going to be looking at stitching and cutting and these two here. And I'm going to go insert 3D column chart. This one here. And I'm going to go right click, select data, and I'm going to switch that over. And I'm just going to take out the rates because I don't really need them. I just need that on a separate worksheet. So I'm going to go move chart. Let's make this bigger so I can get this. It's not letting me move it. I'm just going to create a new one. I'm going to copy this and paste it because I don't know why my move chart's not coming up. And there's my chart. So give the 3D chart a suitable title and include the data table. So appropriate title could be something along the lines of production overhead recovery dash production 5 weeks to 24th March. Oops. Okay, I need to include the data table. So data table, put that in. So I just want to make sure I've done everything using this thing. Overheads, the actual incurred both for cutting and stitching. Give the chart a suitable title and the data table. Name the worksheet. So I haven't done that. I named the worksheet production overheads 24 March 20-8. And I'm being asked to save the spreadsheet with the name, and there you have it. This task is done.